Hey, what is up, guys? It is me, Icy Movies, back again with 200 subscribers! Let's go! I'd like to thank everybody who not only subscribed to me, but made a bunch of different alternative accounts and subscribed to me like that, such as me and one of my friends, and my mom. I made a couple accounts on my mom's phone, so I'd like to thank all my friends and all my friends' alt accounts for getting me to 200 subscribers. I wouldn't be sitting here, just kidding, yeah, I would be sitting here regardless of my subscriber count, but I'd probably have more Dragon Ball shirts if I had a larger subscriber count. So hit the subscribe button to give me YouTube money so I can buy more Dragon Ball shirts, because I accidentally ripped one and I can't wear it anymore. And I was gonna wear it to get because I had enough for every video. I was gonna wear a Dragon Ball shirt every video, but I can't do that anymore because I ripped my Dragon Ball shirt. Yeah. Anyway, let's get started because this is the final Dragon Ball Z movie video. Because next we're gonna get into Super, and then I have another surprise. I'm not gonna tell you what it is. I'm not gonna tell you what it's gonna be. Secret for now. But I will tell you after the Super video, you'll know exactly what I'm doing. I'll put it at the end of my Dragon Ball Super video, so stay tuned for that. But for now, let's wrap the Dragon Ball Z movie franchise up, starting with the worst Dragon Ball Z movie and the second worst Dragon Ball movie in the entire franchise so far, which is So Broly's Second Coming is a movie about Goten, Kid Trunks, and Videl. And if you don't know them, where are they? This is Goten. He's Goku's youngest, and then this is Kid Trunks. You probably know him from the cooler versions that we see in the other movies, such as Super Android 13 and BoJack Unbound, and I think that's it. Which kind of sucks because I really liked him. I think he was in Broly Legendary Super Saiyan. I'll Google it after this. I don't know. As said in the last video, I forgot literally everything that happened in that movie. But this one is a little more memorable, but not in a good way. So we're gonna talk about that right now. So let's get started. So the three of them, they're searching for the Dragon Balls, and then they come across this village, and then they claim to be hunted by some monster. Also, I need to mention there's the crazy guy in the village. I don't know his name. I don't care about his name, but I'm going to put him on the screen. He's right here on the screen. Remember him. He's very important. Or don't. You know, I don't care. I don't like him. Anyway, Videl and the boys, they fight this dinosaur. And then Goten, he gets hit and he starts crying a lot. And if you remember from my last review of the first Broly movie, Broly was traumatized by Goku's cries while they were still babies in the pod. And battle ensues. Broly comes back. He's actually the monster that is haunting the village. And Goten, he looks and sounds kind of like young Goku. So what they do is Broly, he comes up and he's like, Kakaroto! And he gets all pissed, and then they have to fight. Kid Trunks and Goten have to fight Broly. But this time, it's a twist because there's no Goku, no Vegeta, and they're just not in this movie. They're literally not in this movie at all. Except for Goku for like a minute, and we'll get to that, because I actually like that moment. But we'll get to it for now. We're going to talk about all the bad stuff first. First off, let's talk about our new leads, which is Goten and Kid Trunks, who can range from very boring to very annoying. In my last Broly review, I said that I didn't like how Goku was in the first Broly movie just to be there. He didn't really serve any purpose. He just kind of tagged along because they felt like they needed to have Goku in the movie. But that's because Vegeta is interesting enough to carry the movie on his own, and these two boys are not. That's why I had a problem with Goku showing up in this movie, and in this Broly Second Coming, I have a problem that he's not in this movie. Because these two boys are not interesting, while Vegeta is interesting enough to carry a movie all on his own. Just like how Return of Cooler should have been Piccolo's movie, the first Broly movie should have been just Vegeta's. This is a different case though, because I do like the sons as the side characters. They're not very interesting, unique, or developed enough to have their own film though, and that's really my biggest problem with this movie, is the leads are not good. I really can't stand them. I can understand Goku not showing up to help, but Vegeta should have. I mean, like, this could have been his time to shine after, you know, Goku pretty much stole the spotlight in the first Broly movie, but they didn't. It was just like Return of Cooler, it was another wasted opportunity just to have Goku's heir in the spotlight, or Goku related. This is just a little Goku Jr. No, not that one from GT. I'm talking about, like, just Goten just looks a lot like Goku and is acting like Kid Goku. I don't like Goten that much. Because it's really just these two boys for pretty much of the first half of the movie, it's pretty boring. They don't really fight Broly either. I mean, they just run around and they screw with him a lot. Like when Trunks, he pees on Broly's head. I thought that was really disgusting.
Oh, that's better.
It was not funny either. I didn't like it. I don't really find toilet humor funny. There are some cases where I do. I can't think of any off the top of my head. I'm sure there's like a poop joke that made me go, that was funny. You know, but in this case, I didn't, because I already do not like these characters. And I don't like Broly. And I don't like whatever is going on screen. And then just to pile it on, someone pees on Broly's head, I'm completely out of it. I don't like it. Like, okay, I get they're little kids, they're like 8 or 9 at a time, but dude, like, you can think of something funnier for them than pee jokes. Like, Goku, yeah, he's got the stupid idiot personality, and Vegeta's got the prideful, boastful personality, and they clash pretty well together. And even though it can be one-sided sometimes, the jokes usually land. But with these, it's just, hey look, he's peeing, guys. He's peeing. Isn't that really funny? Please laugh, please like our movie. Please. Anyway, now that we've gotten all the bad stuff out of the way, let's just talk about what kept it from being 0 out of 5 stars for me. First off, as I said, the whole movie isn't just Goten and Trunks. 2/3 of the way in, Gohan appears, and he really saves this movie. Like, oh my god. Like, Piccolo will usually come in every movie and, like, things will get a little more interesting, but he never really saves a movie. And no character's really done that. Like, Vegeta hasn't really done that, as I said in my Return of Cooler review, when he came in for the first time. But Gohan, in this case, saves this really boring and stupid movie. Thank you, Gohan. I have gained so much respect for you, you don't even know. I could be I'm the number 1 Gohan fan now, because he saved Broly's second coming. He saw that the kids were really annoying and peeing on Broly, and he's like, oh my god, Broly, my buddy, my man. I'm so sorry. I'm gonna come, I'm gonna avenge you, I'm gonna pretend to beat you up, and then I'm gonna beat up these little idiot, stupid kids, and then I can come save you later. I'll wish you back with the Dragon Balls. That's not really what happened. In this movie, I really like him because he pretty much single-handedly saved this movie. And I say pretty much because he didn't single-handedly save it, and I will get to that part because I really liked that part. It was hilarious. Gohan is another character that's just so much more interesting than the boys, and he could probably carry this movie himself. Like, you know, he's fighting Broly, right? He's like, you know, Masenko, whatever, and then Videl is also there, and the two boys in the background. They don't get that much screen time. It's pretty much Gohan's movie. Because the last Gohan movie was 1 movie ago? But still, you know, I think that movie, this movie, Broly's Second Coming, should have been Gohan's movie, or Vegeta's movie, or just not literally anyone but the boys. Make it, I don't know, Android 8's movie, General Blue, Chaozu, fight Broly, resurrected. Yeah, you know what, that'd be much more interesting than these two little idiot heads. So Gohan actually fights Broly this time. He doesn't piss on anyone like he did in the first movie, Dead Zone. he actually fights using fists and ki and energy and all that, and it's really cool. And there's some pretty cool action sequences, I must admit. So Gohan uses not only his like brute strength, his Saiyan human hybrid strength, he also uses his like clever smarts to outmaneuver and outsmart Broly, who is a big stupid idiot because he's a big green fighting machine. He's not very interesting, as I said. He's not very smart. So Gohan using just a little above common sense really just saves him. So as I said, Gohan outsmarts Broly and he makes him fly right into the lava, and then we think Broly's dead. But Gohan, he used up all his energy. Oh no, oh my goodness. What are they gonna do? I'll tell you what they're gonna do. Piccolo comes in, saves him at the last minute, and I was so mad. Don't even get me started. I was watching this movie, and I wish I recorded this, because I screamed. I was like, no! They didn't do that again! Because they do this every single movie. They bring in Piccolo to save Gohan at the very, very, very last second. But this time it was different, because not only was I sick of it, but it turns out everyone else, including the writers of the movie, were also very sick of it. And turns out it was just Krillin wearing Piccolo's clothing. And that right there was so hilarious. It was perfect meta humor for me.
Piccolo!
Hey!
Wait a sec, Krillin?
I was dying to try this out. What do you think?
And it made me love Krillin so much more than I already did. I have not only mad respect for Gohan after this movie, but I got mad respect for Krillin. Thank you, Krillin. I love you. Then, let's talk about another part of the movie I really enjoyed, which is when Broly resurrected for the second time. And that's after he came out of the lava, he one-hit Krillin, and then they do, I don't know if you guys play Dragon Ball FighterZ, but if you do quarter circle back 3, his 3-bar thing, Adult Gohan's, he does this thing, a Kamehameha, family Kamehameha against Broly, and you're probably wondering where that's from. Well, it's from this movie. Goten comes in, and if you use 2 bars or something, then Goku comes in. And I played FighterZ before I saw this movie, so I was like, oh my god, that's from FighterZ. No way, that's so cool. And it actually was. It was a really cool moment. It was this huge power struggle, and then Goten, he wishes for his dad to be here with the Dragon Balls, and then Goku comes down to Earth, temporarily resurrected, and just finishes the beam struggle and kills Broly once and for all. Broly is dead for real this time. We're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that one. We'll talk about that. It was a very cool moment. It's one of my favorite from the Dragon Ball Z movie series. However, that doesn't make this movie not awful. I still really hated this movie, and Goten and Trunks just straight up ruined the entire experience for me. It was so boring. Overall, it is a very bad movie. I don't know, I feel like this is unpopular, putting it as the worst Dragon Ball Z movie. But it's very close to being one of my least favorites, but I don't know. The only reason it's not my least favorite is the ending with Gohan, Krillin, and Broly. I thought that was really cool, despite Future Trunks being one of my all-time favorites. Kid Trunks is probably my least favorite Z fighter. He's really annoying, he's very rude, and then compared to Goten, who's just annoying, and he makes like pee jokes. So there's no redeeming qualities for any of them. It's just like when they fuse into Gotenks, I like it, but other than that, I hate them separately. Hopefully, the series will learn that Goten and Trunks are not good leads, and have Gohan or Vegeta lead in the next movie. Right? Guess not. Bio Broly is the third movie starring Broly and the second starring Goten and Trunks. I hate saying that. It doesn't feel right. It doesn't sit with me. So, thankfully, it is the last movie starring Goten and Trunks. So, Bio Broly, despite being a huge pile of doo-doo, has one of my favorite plots in the entire series. So these scientists create an army of bio warriors to expose the world's biggest fraud. And you guessed it, that is world champion Mr. Satan. For those who don't know, Mr. Satan is the world's greatest martial artist. He could beat any average person in a fight. You watching right there? Yeah, he could kick your butt. Be wary. However, he doesn't use ki, so even the weakest Z fighters like Yajirobe and Chaozu, they would win in a fight against Mr. Satan. But despite being the weakest, Mr. Satan gets credit for beating the biggest villains in Dragon Ball, such as Perfect Cell.
And now for my finish!
And Majin Buu.
Don't hurt me! I was only kidding before when I said that stuff about you being scared of me. Really, I didn't mean any of it.
And in this case, Bio Broly. So an ex-martial artist named Jaguar made Bio Warriors to fight Mr. Satan to see if he's as strong as everyone claims to be. He does this as blackmail, and if Mr. Satan refuses, or he doesn't win against any of the Bio Warriors, Jaguar will let the world know about the time Mr. Satan, at camp, peed the bed. Great plot. I mean, like, it's silly, it's stupid, it's really, like, lame, but it has to do with Mr. Satan, not Gohan or Vegeta or anything. If it has to do with Mr. Satan peeing the bed and being exposed, then it's funny, because that's very in the realm of Mr. Satan. First, the best part of this movie was Mr. Satan and Android 18. Not only were they very entertaining on their own, but their dynamic was also very funny. In the show, 18 pretended to lose to Mr. Satan because he could win the 25th martial arts tournament. So he owes her a lot of money. So throughout the movie, Mr. Satan would claim that 18 is his apprentice, and if any of the Bio Warriors could beat her, then they wouldn't be good enough to beat him. So of course, she wins easily because she is much stronger, and Mr. Satan always gets his debt piled up because every time 18 would say, you know, I'll fight him, but you have to pay me a bunch of Zenny, which is a currency in Dragon Ball. I also thought another positive about this movie was Krillin. I really love Krillin, he's one of my favorite characters. He's just this normal Earthling, but he always pushes himself to the limits. You know, for pretty much every villain, even if he stands absolutely no chance, which is all of them, he will always be right there, he's fighting and he's giving it his all. And he doesn't even do that bad of a job. He's a pretty good fighter. Plus, he's really damn funny. I mean, especially the English dub, because Sonny Straight's comedic timing and delivery is always spot on in my opinion. Last good thing I liked was the inclusion of the Bio Warriors. I thought that it was a really cool concept, but it was later ruined by the inclusion of Broly, or Bio Broly in this case. Now you're probably wondering, I see movies, how did Broly even get into this movie? I thought he died in the last one. Well, you're right. So, you remember the dude that I said, oh, this guy's really important. Yeah, I'll put him back on the screen. This guy. So he actually came back in this movie. He took some of Broly's blood and he sold it to Jaguar to clone Broly and bring him back to be even stronger. I don't know why he did it. I guess it was like money or something. I don't know. I don't care either. So it all works out okay. That was only my first problem with the movie though. I'm sure you already know the other one. Yep. You guessed it, these two idiots! They should not be leading this movie. Thankfully, with the inclusion of Satan, 18, and Krillin from the very start, they didn't have as much screen time, so it was more bearable than Broly's Second Coming. But it was still awful. So 18, Krillin, and Mr. Satan could have carried this movie, and again had the boys as lesser roles than they did. But we didn't get that, because Toriyama wants to watch me suffer. Now time for my unpopular opinion. I didn't think this was the worst Dragon Ball movie. so far, but it's still awful and I don't like it. Without Mr. Satan, 18, and Krillin, the movie probably would have been 1 star, or even half a star, which is the lowest I give movies. I'm done talking about this garbage bully series. You watch it for yourself, or don't, I don't care, skip it, it's awful. If you're like the #1 Mr. Satan fan in the entire world, I guess watch this movie because it's got a lot of great Mr. Satan moments, some funny jokes by your favorite world champion, but other than that, skip this movie. It's god-awful, and if you are watching all the movies and you need to watch it, good luck. I'll see you in the next segment of my video where I talk about the actual good Dragon Ball Z movie. So far, every single Dragon Ball movie collection I've reviewed has always had one of the worst movies, which has a ton of problems. But for every bad movie in a series is a fantastic and pretty much flawless one. And in this particular case, Fusion Reborn is that flawless movie. Fusion Reborn is the 15th Dragon Ball movie, and is about one of the Onis from the other world forgetting to change the evil essence tank. When it explodes, the other world breaks, and the dead are set loose into the real world, causing havoc. And on top of that, in essence, a pure evil possesses an Oni and becomes a powerful entity known as Janemba. So Goku and his new ally Pikkon, who are both in other world at the time, still being dead, have to go and handle the situation with Janemba. So when I watch these movies, I'll write down anything I think stuck out which is worth talking about in my review. And I didn't write any negative things for this one. I literally would not change a thing about this movie. It is flawless. It is perfect. It is the perfect Dragon Ball movie. Like, Dragon Ball is not a perfect series. I can guarantee that. It's had its ups, it's had its downs, but there are some moments, that really make me remember why I'm a fan of this series. What really keeps me going into the fandom. And this movie is one of those things. It's just flawless. And for the next couple minutes, I'm going to tell you why. It is a perfect Dragon Ball movie. So Fusion Reborn is emotional, it's funny, it's action-packed, and it's got everything Dragon Ball should have. The villain, Janemba, fits right into the Dragon Ball quota. Like, the plot is silly, but it's not in a bad way either. It's perfect for the series. And even with this, silly plot, the movie takes itself very seriously. Seriously enough for me to be invested in whatever's going on screen. This movie also has some of the most memorable Dragon Ball moments in literally all of the entire series. All games, shows, media, manga, whatever. This has some of the greatest moments ever made by Dragon Ball. And that is Gogeta making his debut entrance and showing off some super cool skills. My favorite Dragon Ball attack is the Soul Punisher. Not only does it just look super awesome, but it's one of the few moves that only work under certain conditions, which makes for some great scenarios. In this case, the Soul Punisher only works on people with evil souls. It will just completely erase all evil from your body. And since Janemba was pure evil, he just got wiped out completely. Overall, Gogeta was just so cool. His dialogue, fighting style, I mean, hell, the way he just stood there looking like a badass, he's so cool. I love Gogeta. And even before Gogeta, this movie was just cool enough. How could I forget to mention the famous Super Saiyan 3 transformation?
the ocean and Goku's a hurricane.
You should be proud of yourself. Only Majin Buu has pushed me this far in battle before.
Lastly, I'd like to talk about something that surprised me the most in this movie. And no, it wasn't how Vegeta fused with Goku. It wasn't how evil Janemba was. It wasn't how Pikkon still isn't canon after his awesome performance in this movie. Looking at you, Toriyama. Make it happen! But what surprised me most is how much I enjoyed Goten and Trunks. This movie unlocks the full potential of these characters, and not in a guru kind of way where it like makes them strong. I mean in a way that makes them likable, which is the biggest problem with the last two movies. In my last two reviews, it made it seem like I hate them, because I explicitly said I hate them. And while I don't, I guess, hate them, I guess I was just getting a little heated, I don't think they deserve to be in the spotlight in the slightest. And this movie put them in like just enough to where we got a good laugh out of them, but they never overstayed their welcome. Also, they fought Hitler, and that's just really funny to me. I don't know why.
That little maniac is trying to kill us!
It's him! Schnell!
Hey! Broom Lip! See if you can hit me now!
Run him down! Kill him!
Hey! Shame on you! I'm just a kid! Wow!
If this movie can make me happy to see Goten and Trunks, then they're really doing something right. And on top of that, it's got super cool fights where Janemba had the upper hand the whole time until he gets immediately bodied by Janemba. He did not get a single hit on Gogeta because Gogeta is just so cool. I think Gogeta is like top 3 characters for me. I have a Gogeta poster right over there, actually. It's really cool. I'm gonna show you guys. Here you go. Look at that. Oh, I have 2 Gogeta things. Okay, first off, I have this cool Gogeta poster, and then look at that. I have this cool Gogeta figure. Dude, he looks so cool. That's Gogeta Blue from the Broly movie. Anyway, so what I'm trying to make is Gogeta is awesome. I really like Gogeta. So it was really cool to actually like see his debut. It wasn't the first time I saw him, of course, but it is like the first time everyone saw him, and it was a very cool entrance. This movie also had some very funny moments where Hitler got beaten up by the boys, and Pikkon constantly screaming at this giant blob.
Are you stupid or what? You heard me! Take that barrier down right this instant or else! Are you trying to make a fool out of me?
And, surprisingly, a very well done emotional moment at the end.
Vegeta, thanks.
For what? I should be thanking you, Kakarot.
Nah, what do you mean? I loved every minute. Goodbye, my friend.
This movie is such a fun watch, and I wouldn't skip it if my life depended on it. So, 5 out of 5 stars. Incredible movie. Now, on to the final Dragon Ball Z movie, which is... Here we are, wrapping up the Dragon Ball Z series with the 16th installment, Wrath of the Dragon, which is about a giant monster named Hirudegarn being sealed inside 2 brothers.
Two brothers.
The top half being sealed inside some boy named Tapion, and the bottom half being sealed inside his little brother Minosha. When the 2 halves get out and begin to roam free, the Z Fighters must aid Tapion and seal the 2 halves back up. So first, let's start with what I didn't like, because there really wasn't much. It was like 1 or 2 small complaints. My real only complaint with this great movie is the villain. It's really the only thing keeping it from being 5 stars. And I didn't like Hirudegarn that much. You know, he was just a big monster, like Godzilla in a sense, but also not really. He wasn't competent like any of the other Dragon Ball villains were, and to be fair, he was let loose and sort of being controlled by some guy named Hoi, who I guess you can say is the real villain, but he isn't that good either, since I had to look him up after reading his name in my notes about this movie. So, you know, and the thing that I wrote about him was I thought that part was funny where he was like, I'm gonna commit suicide and jump off the building. He was clearly bluffing, and Videl saw that, so she's like, all right, do it. And then he did, and she's like, oh no!
Get back! I want to die!
Then what are you waiting for?
Videl, what are you doing?
Well, go on. We don't have all day.
Fools! You'll see!
He jumped!
He got saved, sadly, but, you know, I thought that was a very funny scene, but that's the only thing I remember him from. So the threat, while it was fine enough, it just wasn't as good as the other ones. But it's not like it's the worst, because there are some really awful Dragon Ball villains.
Gingerbread! Tutti frutti!
Jeez!
And I also thought that every scene in the first 2 acts of the movie that didn't focus on Tapion just weren't all that interesting. But other than that, I don't find anything else to be really bad that isn't a technical error or a nitpick. So let's just get right into the good stuff. When I think of Wrath of the Dragon, the first thing I think of always is Tapion. I found his character to be very interesting. He was developed very well for a movie with less than an hour runtime. He was also very cool, partly because he had a sword, which is awesome, and everyone with a sword is awesome, you know that. He delivered a ton of chemistry with both Trunks and Bulma, and I love Bulma's interactions with him, but the best is easily Kid Trunks, with one of the final scenes in the climax even making me shed a tear with how emotionally invested I was on top of that very well done scene. Tapion, of course, wasn't the only good part of the movie. Goku also showed off his new move called the Dragon Fist, and it's where this giant golden dragon, it follows his fist and attacks the enemy, and it's now one of my favorite moves in the entire series. So overall, it's a very good movie. It's not the best in my eyes, but it still holds up very well, and it sits comfortably in my top 10 Dragon Ball movies. Also, before we wrap up, I want to talk about the ending where Tapion gives Kid Trunks his famous sword. And, you know, of course, this movie isn't canon. It's not what happened in the show. We don't know what happened in the show, what gave him his sword. But I'm just going to say my little theory. If you guys have a theory on how Trunks got a sword, let me know. But mine is, so in the Saiyan Saga at the beginning of Dragon Ball Z, when Piccolo trained young Gohan, he gave Gohan a sword. So I think now that Gohan, training Kid Trunks, gave him a sword, but instead of getting rid of it, Kid Trunks keeps it and uses it and mixes it with ki and stuff, so I think that's really cool. But, you know, who really knows for sure? It's just a theory. But, you know, let me know what you think in the comments below. Oh, man! Woo! Finally! We made it to the end of the Dragon Ball Z movies. It's been a really fun ride watching and talking about all of them. There were its ups and downs, but overall, I really liked it, and I had a ton of fun with this series. But all things must come to an end. So, see you next time when I talk about Dragon Ball Super. See ya! Woo!